Open world games are like real life, except you don't need to pay taxes, shower, or answer messages from relatives asking if you still do that computer stuff. You just pick a direction, get distracted by 5 side quests, accidentally join a cult, and boom, 10 hours gone. So today we're talking the best open worlds you can jump into right now. Let's kick back and enjoy. When I thought about making this list, I knew I wanted to start with a real heavy hitter, Red Dead Redemption 2. But instead of the usual spiel about missions you've already played, let's talk about Guarma, the late-game Caribbean island. It's easy to forget Guarma exists because it's a linear section. It's fully realized with its own environment, assets, and enemies, and it feels like a natural extension of the world. You go from the snowy peaks of the Grizzlies, to the swamps of Lemoyne, to Saint Denis, and then suddenly you're in this tropical hellscape. Still part of the same story. It shows how carefully Rockstar thought about world design. Even in a linear area, it still feels alive and connected to the open world. A studio that can balance freedom and exploration while still creating unique spaces that surprise you. Red Dead Redemption 2 nails that. If you haven't played it yet, you're missing one of the best open worlds ever. But stick around, because some of the games later on in this list might even push it.
It ain't ever black and white.
It's a charade.
Next up is Cyberpunk 2077. Don't sleep on it. Keanu Reeves, Idris Elba, an amazing storyline. CD Projekt Red put together something truly special. And the open world, honestly underrated. The story often steals the spotlight. But if you slow down and just wander, Night City is packed with life. Neon streets, hidden alleys, NPCs doing their own thing. It's vibrant, messy, full of interesting characters. It's the little details that really sell it. Rain streaking down neon signs, puddles reflecting the chaos above, holograms flickering in the night. It's a world that feels lived in. I've spent hours just wandering, watching people argue, cars screech past, drones buzzing overhead. This city exists. As I was saying, the open world in Cyberpunk is often overlooked because the story is so strong. But after a couple of years of updates, it feels even more massive and immersive. Fashion, side missions, hidden secrets. The city rewards curiosity, and that's exactly the kind of open world magic we're talking about.
Brace for impact.
Our next game, The Outer Worlds 2, is an improvement on the first game. The first game started great, but it felt really small, like a theme park version of a sci-fi RPG. Fun, charming, sarcastic, but you could finish an entire planet before your tea got cold. The sequel basically said, alright, let's stretch our legs a little bit. Reception's been surprisingly solid. People expected more of the same and instead got something that feels like Obsidian finally had enough budget to stop duct taping planets together. The humor's still razor sharp. Every company is still evil, every mascot wants to kill you. But the writing stops winking every 5 seconds. It's satire, not stand-up. The open world, well, open zones, are where the glow-ups hit hardest. They're bigger, messier, and actually feel lived in. Less corporate Disneyland, more, yeah, someone definitely died behind that vending machine. Fans of giant Ubisoft maps will still call it small, but honestly, that's the point. Obsidian builds space you actually can explore instead of treating them like a 40-hour hiking trail. Not everything's perfect. There's still a bit of that trademark Obsidian jank, where a dialogue animation looks like a hostage reading ransom notes, but people seem fine with it because the game's got personality. Real personality. Not AI smoothness, not corporate polish, just that weird, slightly chaotic energy that made New Vegas legendary. Outer Worlds isn't trying to compete with Starfield or Cyberpunk, which are bigger budget games. It's doing its own thing. A tight, punchy RPG where the world feels handcrafted. The quests actually react to you, and the jokes land without feeling like Marvel Improv Hour.
Contact with Earth has been low.
Identified ships on the edge of Arcadia.
Next up, Elden Ring. Now don't get it twisted. This is a different take on open world. It's open, but it's also carefully guided. You can go almost anywhere, but the game nudges you, gently slaps you, and occasionally murders you if you wander somewhere you're not ready for. It's less a free-for-all sandbox and more like a world that knows what you're capable of, and punishes the rest. That said, the atmosphere is insane. Misty swamps, ruined castles, enormous dragons overhead, sprawling fields that look like they've been abandoned for centuries. It all hits hard. Exploration feels meaningful because every corner could hide a secret, a trap, or a boss that will absolutely ruin your day. Combat is weighty, deliberate, and can't be really put into words. It has that slow, deliberate weight of Tekken, but the excitement of a hack and slash. I gotta say, FromSoft's environmental storytelling is next level. You don't need NPCs holding your hand. The world itself tells the story, from ruined towers to eerie, glowing trees. I've spent hours just wandering, getting completely lost, dying repeatedly, and still feeling like I earned every moment. Elden Ring isn't a traditional sandbox, but it nails the feeling of being a tiny speck in a massive, hostile, and beautiful world. And that's why it belongs on any open world list. Now let's quickly talk about instant gaming, the best way to get your games for less money than you would from retail. Whether it's new releases, bestsellers, or upcoming pre-orders, you'll find them at a discount for PC, PlayStation, and more. Unlike shady key marketplaces, instant gaming only sells keys from authorized resellers, so you're getting legit products at great prices. Plus, with a top Trustpilot rating and 24/7 customer support, you can buy with confidence. Personally, I've been using their service for a while, and always had a great experience, and that's why we're happy to partner with them. Check out Instant Gaming through the link in the description and start saving today. Now let's talk about another game you can get lost in for hours. This is the one that made me fall in love with wandering for hours without really knowing why. You leave the tutorial area and suddenly you're in the countryside, riding past forests, rivers, and little villages that actually have quirks. A drunk guy arguing with a guard, a kid stealing apples, someone yelling at their cow. Little things that make you pause because they're funny or weird, not just world filler. The remaster cleans up textures and lighting, sure, but the game still thrives on curiosity. I've gone off paths dozens of times, chasing a random tower on a hill or poking into a cave that wasn't on the map, and always found something that made me stop and laugh, fight, or groan at how stupidly unfair it was. Combat and quests still have that old school charm, which is kinda lost on newer games. The stats, the spells, sneaking around a bandit camp, or accidentally killing someone important. You don't need to explore the world to have fun, but if you do, the game rewards it in its weird little ways. Oblivion Remastered is about getting lost in the random, memorable dungeons, enjoying its quirky quests and dialogue, and taking yourself back to a game that influenced the open world genre. Another Bethesda game, Starfield, has been getting a bit more love recently, which is nice. The open world or open universe isn't seamless like, say, No Man's Sky, but it works. Land somewhere random, poke around, find an abandoned lab full of loot and questionable diary entries, steal everything that shines, and blast off like a cosmic raccoon. That loop is addictive. Starfield's still not perfect, but it's interesting. A massive sandbox for stories you make yourself. The game was basically Bethesda's White Whale. They trademarked the name back in 2013, and then disappeared into a bunker for a decade to build it. First IP in 25 plus years. Todd Howard pacing around the office going, what if Skyrim, but NASA? And everyone nodded hard enough to get whiplash. They built new tech, new engine, new everything, which explains why the launch felt like a toddler taking its first steps. Wobbly, charming, and occasionally face-planting into a loading screen. But over time, with updates, crewmates, city expansions, and actual reasons to land on planets, it's slowly turning a corner. Alright, next game on this list is GTA 5. Boot it up for the first time and you're thrown straight into that snow-covered prologue. Masks on, alarms screaming, cops everywhere. No slow tutorial, just rob a bank, good luck. It's the most rockstar way to say welcome to the game, champ. Then you're Franklin repoing cars for a man who looks like he moisturizes with stolen credit cards, learning the ropes while simultaneously trying not to crash a customer's Audi into a yoga studio. Early game GTA's pure vibes. Cruising around Vinewood, accidentally discovering the stunt jumps, realizing pedestrians actually yell back at you, then spending an hour doing absolutely nothing productive. Perfection. The world here is stellar. The actors for Michael, Trevor, and Franklin didn't just voice lines, they did full motion capture. So when Trevor looks like he's about to bite someone's ear off, well, that's Steve and Og actually going feral in a gray suit covered in ping pong balls. The map is stuffed with weird secrets too. Alien Easter eggs, ghost sightings, the Mount Chiliad mystery that had the community losing its mind like it was a Da Vinci Code sequel. GTA 5 is big enough that you can get lost in it. One minute you're doing a mission, next you're racing strangers down the highway, golfing, flying a blimp, or seeing how many stars you can stack before the tank shows up. It's the most fun open world game ever made. Don't even get me started on GTA Online.
Get 1,000 things every day. How about you make sure this is one of them?
An open world that's getting left out of the conversation is Watch Dogs 2. It lived in GTA's shadow, got compared to it nonstop, and the first Watch Dogs being all gloomy and beige didn't really help expectations. Plus the game's themes are not to everyone's tastes. But Watch Dogs 2 flips the whole vibe. Sunny San Francisco, colorful chaos, and some of the best hacking style gameplay you can get. You're detonating phones, hijacking cranes, stealing cars with Wi-Fi. It's all pretty fun. The early game set the tone perfectly. Marcus Holloway gets recruited into DedSec, does some hacker parkour, breaks into Tech HQ like it's nothing. It's like a family-friendly GTA, sure. Instead of brooding revenge arcs, you're pranking billionaires and taking down cults. You get your fair share of hipsters taking pictures of avocado toast and cliche tech bros, which also creates a unique atmosphere. Pretty underappreciated open world game though overall. Alright, let's look at a different kind of game now. One which you'll undoubtedly have heard of, but likely haven't truly appreciated, is Kojima's Death Stranding. I get why maybe a lot of people haven't played it. It's a box delivery game, right? But trust me, it's a lot more fun than it sounds when you get into it. And unlocking the story and rewards is a satisfying loop. It's one of the most strangely relaxing open worlds ever made. It's lonely and bizarre. Even hiking uphill with 300 kilos of rare designer flip-flops starts feeling spiritual. Icelandic vibes, empty landscapes, rain that ages you like milk left in the sun, but damn, it's peaceful. It hits that meditative zone, where you're not playing a game anymore, you're immersed inside of it. Something these insanely ambitious Japanese games nail in my opinion. Death Stranding isn't chaotic like GTA or full of mobs like Elden Ring. It's an open world about connection. A place where a single rope from a stranger can save your life, and you tear up over a bridge someone placed in the perfect spot. If that's not atmosphere, I don't know what is. Now for probably my all-time favorite game, The Witcher 3. To this day, it's still one of the most immersive open worlds you'll ever find. Rewind to the start, you boot it up, land in the White Orchard, little farms, muddy roads, dudes yelling about Nilfgaard over ale like it's match day. And Geralt just vibing, killing ghouls for pocket change. Early game Witcher isn't about saving the continent. It's about doing odd jobs like a medieval handyman, missing frying pans, haunted wells, bloke crying over his lost cow. It's weirdly homey. And that's the beauty. It tricks you. You think, yeah, cool, this is manageable. The White Orchard is just the tutorial. Once you hit Velen, you're in a war zone now, and that's why Witcher 3 sticks. Early game feels like a slow burn Sunday stroll. Then suddenly you're negotiating with a baron about his demon baby. No big dramatic spiel. You just wander. Stuff happens. It snowballs. It's got a messy human charm like Game of Thrones did in 2015. Not because NPCs have routines, but because everyone has drama, and you're the poor sod fixing it. Witcher 3, in my opinion, is still one of the greatest games of all time. Alright, so enough glazing The Witcher. Let's talk about a new game, Ghost of Yotei. This one feels like the devs deliberately swerved away from everything warm and cinematic about Tsushima. The first game had sunlight, golden fields, foxes doing parkour. Yotei hits you with snow, fog, and constantly feeling that something in the trees is eyeing you up. Combat's still satisfying, but it's rougher. In Tsushima, you were basically auditioning for a samurai movie. Here, you're slipping on ice, wind's throwing your timing off. And half your fights feel like bar scraps with swords. Some players love that grit, Others miss the smoothness of the original. The world itself is gorgeous, but in a harsh, lonely way. Villages feel more realistic, but also more depressing. And travel can drift into, more snow. Critics were split. Some praised the atmosphere, others said the pacing dipped and the map felt emptier than it should. But when it hits, the sound of snow under your boots, a tense trek through the woods, a fight that feels desperate instead of choreographed, it works. It's familiar enough for Tsushima fans, but bold enough to stand on its own. Not perfect, not trying to be Tsushima 2, just a cold, rougher take on the same DNA. No open world list is complete without the modern Zelda games, right? Let's take a look at the Tears of the Kingdom. This one's tricky to talk about without sounding like a fanboy screaming into a canyon, but honestly, its early game sets the tone perfectly. You're dropped into Hyrule, wind in your hair, wings on your back, and immediately you start wondering how many ways you can launch a boulder off a cliff just for fun. The world practically dares you to mess around, climb towers, glide over rivers, or combine a bomb and a wooden crate to see what chaos unfolds. There's more verticality, more weird physics tricks, and the story bits are tighter, but never so tight that you feel hurted. You can still wander for hours, discovering floating islands, hidden caves, or just hunting some ridiculous monster that's clearly plotting against you. What really hits is how the game rewards curiosity. Every corner of the map has something unexpected. A puzzle, a secret mini-boss, or just a view that makes you stop and think, yeah, this is why I play games. And yet, it never feels exhausting. The world gives you freedom but guides you subtly enough that exploration feels purposeful, instead of overwhelming. Tears of the Kingdom nails that balance between being a sandbox and a crafted adventure. You're free to do whatever, but everything in the world is designed to make you stop, laugh, or go, oh shit, which is exactly why it deserves a spot on this list. Hogwarts Legacy. Alright, let's be honest. Part of the draw here is that you get to finally live in the Harry Potter universe without having to wait for J.K. Rowling to approve your broomstick license. Early game is Magic School 101, wand in hand, robe slightly itchy, and a castle that's already hiding more secrets than my last 5 text threads combined.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
The opening hours are gold. You're learning spells, sneaking into forbidden corridors, and realizing the castle isn't just a backdrop, it's a fully playable character. Portraits move, staircases shift, and sometimes you spend 10 minutes chasing a rogue ghost just to figure out it's messing with you. Side quests are charming, ridiculous, and occasionally dangerous. A giant talking toad demanding your homework? Sure. Fight a cursed centaur? Why not? This one is a must for Harry Potter fans. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chornobyl, drops you into the foreboding zone, a deadly and mysterious area surrounding the ruins of the Chornobyl nuclear power plant. You play as a lone stalker, scavenging for valuable artifacts, dodging deadly mutants, and surviving harrowing anomalies that defy physics. The zone is alive with dynamic weather, eerie sounds, and encounters that make every step a risk. You'll need to carefully manage resources from ammunition to food, as survival hinges on preparation and quick thinking. What truly sets S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 apart is its haunting atmosphere. Whether you're sneaking through abandoned facilities or caught in a terrifying emission storm, the tension is relentless. Add to this a gripping narrative, moral choices, and branching outcomes. You've got an open world like no other. If you're looking for a game that fuses survival horror with deep exploration, S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 promises to be a masterpiece of suspense and storytelling. Guys, thanks for watching, and let us know your favorite games in the comments down below. And keep watching Gamewise. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.